on.
We're on. Hey, we're back.
Here we are again. Oh, God.
We have a very important show.
Very.
Very important.
Yeah.
Because Valentine's Day, which is has become my favorite holiday.
Has it really?
Yes.
It's not really a holiday.
Well, for me it is.
It's become your favorite celebration.
Yes. It is the only holiday when I won. It was several years ago. I bought a lottery ticket on Valentine's Day, and I won $500.
I remember.
A friend had told me to do it.
Yep.
And I did. I was thrilled.
Yep. So are you going to do it this Valentine's Day?
I'm considering it strongly.
Uh-huh.
But then again, who needs money when you got love? All you need is
love.
All you need
is love. That's right. That's right. Well, it does help
hot water helps.
to pay the bills.
You need hot water to preserve that love.
Uh-huh. Yes, bathing. Bathing is important.
Bathing cuts it.
Well, you know, there are people who don't go for bathing, but I'm not one of them.
Well, you know, it's a relatively recent phenomena.
Mm-hmm. True.
You know, like color TV.
The bathing in the Middle Ages was something you did once a year, and the day you got married, you took a bath.
I have relatives who...
But you know why? Do you know why that they bathe so seldom? Aside from the fact that hot water had to be boiled, made hot for you.
Yeah.
Do you know why?
No.
Because the Romans loved bathing.
Yes.
Okay. So when when they wanted to discourage pagan practices, they lumped bathing in with pagan practices. And the Christian church said, oh, people shouldn't bathe because it's sinful. It's pagan to bathe. So, yeah, really. So bathing fell out of favor, and people got sicker as a result.
Well, it would help, yeah.
Yeah, really. I mean, bathing keeps you healthy.
But I remember, you know, and this is growing up in the 1940s. I had relatives who would go to the ocean.
Yep.
And they didn't have a bathtub or a shower.
Oh, really?
I'm sure they had a toilet.
Oh, honey.
No, they'd go to the beach club.
And they there.
And they'd shower at the beach.
Okay.
You know, and people did that in South County.
Yeah.
And I always thought it was an interesting idea, you know. But people would do that, married couples especially. I guess they found a depth of intimacy showering at the beach.
They wouldn't be able to shower together.
No, you had a bathhouse.
You wouldn't
and you
have
had a shower in your bathtub.
Bath?
Yes.
In your own bathhouse?
Oh yes, you had a little cubicle. You had a little cubicle about half the size of our bathroom, and it had
a shower.
It had a shower in it.
Really?
And you know, the idea of it was to wash the salt water away.
Yeah, but usually there was just a general shower that you did that in, at least to any bath.
That was a public beach. This was a private beach club.
Oh, okay, a private beach club. Well, maybe that would make a difference then.
And you
Isn't
could.
That interesting?
I always thought of it as a way to wash off the sand on your feet, you know, and put your shoes on, so you wouldn't go home with sandy feet.
Huh.
But other people took it more seriously. I guess there was a certain amount of passion involved for people.
How interesting.
So bathing is a way of sharing love.
I suppose, yes.
Yeah.
Well, look at Cuddles and Bubbles. I mean, if you want to go someplace, you can go to a place called Cuddles and Bubbles, and they have great big bathtubs there where you can sit with your beloved.
And other friends.
Well, presumably.
Yes, you can get up to 8 people in one of those things.
You can?
Yes.
The ones at Cuddles and Bubbles?
Yeah. And
I don't know about that.
They have group parties that are very famous.
I don't think it's, I
they're
think
very
Cuddles and
famous.
Is just about having...
Well, they don't put it in the newspapers.
Or no, coupley kinds of bathtubs.
No, this is beyond couples, I want to tell you. This is the old...
It's not a hot tub, Stephen.
This is the old throw the key in the hat and God knows who you go home with.
No.
But, you know,
Besides,
it's
for that,
okay.
you don't just need love, you need money.
Oh, no, all you need is a hat. and you throw your...
I mean, money to rent a room there.
People used to have parties in Massachusetts. I mean, not on the North Shore.
You are making this up.
I'm not making this up. I promise
never heard
you.
of such a thing.
Friends, if you've been to one of these parties, call the station. tell my wife that I'm not making this up.
You are. You're
This
making
is
it up.
relevant historical data.
No, it's not. It's made up by Stephen.
No, it's not made up at all.
No, it's made up by Stephen, who likes to tell
People
jokes.
used to take a hat, a fedora, I believe, the old-fashioned fedora,
No?
and it would be passed around, and you throw your keys in.
I heard of people doing this.
Okay,
but
good.
You know
now,
what?
now you remember.
It was in a Peter Arno cartoon.
No, it wasn't a
book.
cartoon.
It was.
This was the
and
real deal,
when I was
dear.
a little kid, I didn't really understand that cartoon.
And-
I used to look at my parents.
And if your
Peter
date
Arno
for the night
cartoon
weighed
books.
300 pounds, all you need is love and a crane.
And I didn't understand why this person looked so disheartened.
I'd be disheartened too if I wasn't going
when they
home
were talking
with you.
about these things, my parents apparently didn't realize that they
Imagine going home with someone who eats nothing but hot pastrami. I mean, that could be difficult. Really.
were really.
Yeah, that could be
Garlic would do it. Lots
Oh, I
of
don't
it.
know about garlic. I mean, we
Yes.
could all share garlic.
Well, I know, but still.
But I am a voice for rational garlic.
Yes, darling.
Really.
Yes, darling.
Really?
Rational garlic.
Rational garlic.
Tell me something.
Yes.
What to you constitutes loving behavior? From me. Not you doing, but from me. What for you is
I'm thinking
loving? Okay. Think.
loving behavior.
Yes. Behavior showing love, that kind of thing.
Just hanging out with me.
Yeah?
That's all you have
Sitting
to do.
on the couch watching things?
Well, it's either sitting on the couch watching things, reading together, taking walks together, being together.
Being together. Okay.
Yeah.
For me, okay, now you're going to ask me what I think constitutes loving behavior from you. And from you, what has been, for me anyway, big loving behavior has been washing the dishes and putting away the dishes after they're washed later, and asking if you can help with the cooking, and hugs.
Hugs are big.
Hugs.
I do the dishes with joy in my heart because all the stuff in church about Brother Lawrence, some of that sunk in, and if I do the dishes, I have a better chance of communing with God. And not that I've gotten any big deal messages, but I'm waiting. And I do it with peace in my heart.
Sometimes all God's messages are is love.
Well, good. Well, I'm glad
Not
of
that's
that.
an all.
Lottery number now and then would help too.
God doesn't do lottery numbers, darling.
How do you know that? Maybe your God doesn't do lottery numbers. But Hamumba from the Yubudubi tribe does lottery numbers
Well,
in Johannesburg.
Okay.
They all line up.
I
and
won't argue with you about that.
Thank you. I give you this really interesting data, and you spurn it.
I
mean,
don't spurn it.
we were talking about people throwing their car keys in a hat.
Why do we have to talk about that?
Well, it's fascinating.
It is it?
Yeah. It's just something, it's part of our social history. It goes with
It's
Valentine's
in Peter Arno
Day.
cartoons.
Well, it goes with Valentine's Day.
It's an urban legend.
Oh, no, this is no urban legend. She
It's
was
an
not a
urban-
legend.
It's an urban
Her
legend.
corpulence was renowned, really.
It's an urban legend. It's
really.
an
I won't,
urban legend.
I won't
You're
talk
making
about
it
that.
up.
It's from the 60s. I won't go back to the 60s.
Honey, it goes back to the 20s. That urban legend goes back to the 20s. I kid you not.
goes
That's
back
when
to
the Peter
Rome.
Arno books
Yeah.
were written.
Well, it goes
And they
back to
talked
Rome.
about it then.
It goes back to Rome.
Well, I don't think they had car keys in Rome.
No, they
The
had
chariots did not require keys.
they had chariot
horses.
reins.
Only
Yes.
horses.
Well, they had chariot
You
reins.
can't throw the horses. No,
No, but
it
you
doesn't
throw
work.
the rein
No,
to-
no.
You don't like that. I mean, you grew up in a
Oh,
very American type home.
I did. I
Oh,
did
yes.
not.
No, you did. You
No,
grew up.
I did not. Nobody ever listened to a baseball game in their lives.
Really?
No, my mother and father, they liked tennis,
Uh-huh.
and they watched it. They watched tennis, and later on they watched it on television, actually.
What's
Which I
wonderful?
can't imagine watching it on television, but they loved it. So,
I-
you know, it takes all kinds.
What-
Like it takes all kinds for love.
What constitutes loving behavior, I think, is waking up in the morning glad to be with whomever you wake up with. Now that doesn't sound right.
That's not behavior.
That's good fortune.
Well, that's a kind of behavior. I don't think that's what you meant to say.
You wake up in the morning, and you're glad to wake up in the morning.
And you're glad to wake up with your beloved.
And you're glad
Not
to be...
whomever, but
No.
your beloved.
You're glad to be sharing breakfast together.
Yes, darling. You're glad to be having a nice breakfast with someone you love and a good cup of tea.
I miss coffee. I
I
still
know you
miss
do.
coffee.
I
God,
know you do.
I gave up
I
coffee for you.
I don't like coffee.
I gave it up for you.
Oh, well, now that's loving behavior.
Yeah.
Like giving up something on behalf of someone you love, as opposed to the fact that it might irritate your stomach or raise your blood pressure, is very loving.
I keep seeing these public service announcements claiming the virtues of coffee
Right. Virtue.
and how coffee is a heroic drink.
Well, you know why? I think probably because most people drink coffee in order that their bowels may move healthily. People say they can't go unless they have their coffee in the morning. And that would constitute good health.
After 70 years, the one bit of wisdom that I gleaned is you've got to be Jewish to have good bowels. But that's neither here nor
Oh,
there.
I don't agree
We're
with
not
you there.
going to get into that, but that's
Mine are
what
pretty good, and
Obama
I'm not
and
even a whisper Jewish, so there you go.
Okay, well, I'm glad. I'm glad. But before I made that aside, what I wanted to say was that one of the most wonderful things about being married to you is being married to you.
Oh, that's very sweet.
It's true, you know, and I don't have to buy you flowers or expensive jewelry or much of anything.
No, all you have to do is things like washing the dishes.
Yeah.
And once in a while, you're getting me a new vacuum cleaner.
That's coming. Yes.
But not for Valentine's Day. No.
You don't want a vacuum cleaner.
Not for Valentine's Day.
You're
I
getting
want
a
one.
diamond ring for me.
Yes, I am.
I've
I'm very
hocked
excited about that.
I've hocked the car and...
Well, the next show we'll have to show people.
Well, I don't want it to be pretentious.
No, it's not pretentious. It's just a very simple little solitaire. But it's something nice to have after all these many years together.
But it's taken us 30 years for me to find your diamond.
Well, that's fine. I don't care.
Well, I'm glad you don't.
I'm just happy to have you.
Good.
It's not important to me to have fancy things or
I remember just the other day, here's an example, folks, of love. This is a perfect example of trusting your partner and responding in a favorable way. When you made the Jell-O, the holistic Jell-O that didn't have cow hoof in it or whatever goes in the regular Jell-O, and I suggested adding ice cream.
Uh-huh.
Talente, actually. It's a little high end on the
No, it's
food
not
chain.
ice cream, it's gelato.
Oh, gelato, okay.
Yes, very good gelato.
And so I said, let's put in some ice cream, and the expression on your face was catastrophic.
Oh dear. Well,
mean,
it's catastrophic. No, not catastrophic.
You looked
please.
like you were witnessing the end game of time.
Oh dear.
You know, it was apocalyptic, it was strange.
Oh dear.
And you looked at me, and you didn't know me for a moment.
That's not true, you're exaggerating.
No, I'm not exaggerating.
I
Lee.
did too know you for a moment, my goodness. That's being very silly.
And I said, why don't you just give it a try? And you looked at me. And I guess what went through your mind...
You're making a lot of this.
I guess what went through your mind
Like it's
is...
a big deal.
No, it is. Because what went through your mind was, if this works, I've missed it for the last...
No, nothing like
Decades
that
and
went through my
decades.
mind. What went through my mind is, I will do this
For him.
to decide what it's really like, because it is an original thought, and it might be tasty. So
I always liked ice
I'm
cream
willing.
on my Jell-O.
I never had ice cream on my Jell-O before.
Well, you came
I
from
can
a
remember.
deprived home. I came from a home
It was
that...
awfully, but I think the fact that the Jell-O was really good had something to do with it too. Came from the health food store as opposed to the market.
You never had Little Necks and Cherry Stones and
Oh, I've tried
New England type
I
food.
tried them and I didn't care much for them.
Well, after all those years, I can see why, especially if it's moving on the plate. You know, you see a little nerve and it's twitching.
I'm willing to try things. I'm willing to try things like, and so what you're saying is that that my being willing to try the Jello is worthy of love.
That was huge.
That was an act of love.
That was absolutely huge.
Well, that was an easy act of love.
That you would do that.
I made some more Jello. We can have it again.
Yes.
Maybe
and
for tea.
Maybe you'll make some apple pie filling without the crust.
All right.
I like apple pie.
We have to buy some
filling.
apples today then when we go shopping.
And I will help you.
Okay.
I mean, I try helping you in the kitchen now. I try
you do.
being useful.
You do help, and you do. You do.
But I'm very careful what I eat. You know, I want to.
You know why? Because it's an act of love to do it for lastingnesses.
Lastingness,
That's
yes.
another act of love.
Well, I want you to last. You want me to last. Because
so we take care
without
of ourselves.
each other, nobody would really care.
Now, that's not true.
Oh, well, I mean,
That's not true.
it's not like the phone is jumping off the hook with dinner invitations.
We have grandchildren who care about us.
Yes, I know, but you don't want to saddle them. They have their own lives to lead. Besides, you're a better cook than your daughters.
Well, you like my food, that's all.
I'm just used to it and glad it's there.
I'm glad it's there, too.
And I don't get things like tilapia.
For another thing that you know, that I consider an act of love is how nicely you look after me.
I try very hard.
You don't always like the results. You don't always like it when I don't do what you think I ought to do.
Oh, I think many married people after 100 years, there are probably things they really can't stand about each other. But you have to ignore that.
Like the piles of things?
Oh, I don't have piles. I have stacks of research. There's a big difference. We never should have gotten into feng shui. The minute we got into feng shui, I went from being a writer who did his research to a slob.
No, that's
really.
not true.
In your own column, you said my desk was messy.
Well, I changed it.
Oh, you did change it?
I changed it.
Oh, that's good.
And you know what I did a terrible thing to the poor editor.
You did.
I said it was Stephen's column. When it was my column that I was making the correction in.
Oh.
And she looked and looked in your column, and she couldn't find any reference to a messy desk. And she wrote me back and said, I can't find anything. And I said, well, it's right there in the first sentence. And I quoted the first sentence for her. And then, of course, she wrote back and told me that she'd been looking in the wrong column due to me.
Oh, good.
I felt very bad about that. That was a terrible thing to do to the poor,
but you see,
poor editor.
We endure each other. And that's what love is.
It's more than enduring. We
Lovingly
appreciate
enduring.
each other. No.
No, we endure
appreciate.
things.
We appreciate each other. That's much more. When you tell me that you really liked the meal, that's an act of love for me.
It's an act of truth. Has nothing to do with love.
But people can devour a meal and like it and not say anything, Stephen.
Well, that being, if they don't cook it, they're being foolish.
The act of love is the saying of it and the kindliness of it.
Uh-huh. Well, I'm glad you feel that way.
I do.
Good.
I do.
I think Brother Lawrence had the right idea, though.
About what?
Standing in the kitchen, washing the dishes, letting his mind go into a meditative state.
Yeah.
While he dealt with the crockery.
Well, I don't know if his mind went into a meditative state, but he considered that it was an act of worship.
Well, that's a meditative state.
We did it with God in his thoughts and God in his mind.
Yeah, well, that's being meditative.
Yes, I suppose.
It's kind of embracing our sense of holiness.
Yes, but meditation doesn't have to have anything to do with holiness. Meditation is actually just becoming very quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, you might listen for the voice of God, but that's not why you're doing it. You're being quiet in order to listen to yourself.
Well, I hear my mother on occasion.
Do you?
Yes, especially if she doesn't like what I'm wearing.
Really?
Yeah, she might say, change that shirt.
Really?
And it would come out of the blue.
Oh, why?
You know, or my grandmother, who would say things like, why aren't you working? And,
no.
Oh, yeah.
No. Your
Friendly.
grandmother wouldn't say that.
No,
she was much nicer than that.
She was a sweet lady.
Your grandmother would not say that. No, absolutely not.
Maybe I could take my shoes off, too, and we could play footsie.
Well, the reason I took them off was because my feet were feeling a little...
Alone? Would you like me to rub your feet? First
I'd
time
love
on,
it.
First
you
time
want
on
to rub
TV?
my feet on TV?
I don't know. I mean, it could be. What do you think, Chris? I mean, it could be the beginning of something new and different.
That's okay. You don't have to rub them.
It's arousing
You
to
can
rub
rub
your
them.
feet.
You can rub them when we're watching TV.
No, I'd
That
rather.
would be fun.
I don't know. Maybe people would like to watch me rub your feet.
Another act of love that I really like is when you watch something because I want to see it, not because you want to see it.
I try there. I do the best I can.
That's like me putting the ice cream on the Jell-O or the Jell-O on the ice cream, whichever you call
Well,
it.
sometimes I've actually seen a movie that I had no intention of wanting to see, and it's been a decent movie, and I'm there, and you know, it's okay. But generally speaking, our tastes differ considerably. The best example I can think of is I like film, and you like movies.
What's that mean?
Well,
I don't think that's true.
film is
You
an,
like both.
film is an art form.
You like both, and I'm not as fond of film as you are.
True.
I like movies better than you might.
Like Kurosawa is film.
Yes, darling. And I'm no interest in watching it, but neither do you anymore.
Well, who do I have to sit and watch it with?
Well, you could watch it by yourself if you really cared.
You'd be over there at your desk going, is it over yet? You know.
No. I'd be over there at my desk with my earphones on so that you could listen.
Like in the realm of the senses, that is a
Yeah, really.
magnificent movie.
It's magnificent. And I will always remember watching, and this was another act of love, watching a movie called The Boat.
The boat, yes.
And it was all about these people who wanted to move a boat over
Across
a
a mountain, yes, big
and that's
metaphor.
all it was about.
Yes,
And, it was,
Kloskinski.
and not only that, but you fell asleep.
You darn right I
And
did.
I'm sitting there watching, thinking there was going to be something going to happen. Something was surely going to happen. Eventually, something was going to happen because there had to be something happening, and nothing ever happened except that they got the boat to the other side of the GD mountain, and that was it.
Well, that's
That was
Werner
it.
Herzog.
And then that was the end of the film, and I woke you up and we went to bed.
Well,
Big deal, and never again.
well, that was Werner Herzog.
I don't care
That's
who
not
it was.
Kurosawa.
I don't care who
You'd
it
never
was.
fall asleep with Kurosawa.
I'm not a big follower of film, as you said. As you said.
I mean, you like Judy Garland and Fred Astaire.
Well, so do you.
They're okay.
Yes, you
A
do.
little go a long way.
Yes, you do. You like them, and you also like. I like certain kinds of movies that you don't, that have more sentiment in them.
Yeah.
You don't like sentimental movies.
Well, I don't like movies that could give you diabetes. You know, drenching,
sentimental
drenching in Americana. But I'm looking forward to seeing The Lone Ranger. That's
There's
coming.
lots of good things coming.
Oh, a lot of
Lots
good
of
stuff.
things.
Hansel and Gretel,
Yeah.
Witch Hunters. I'm really
Yeah.
looking forward to seeing
That's
that.
such a terrible title.
No, it's a great title. It really tells you right
Oh,
where
and,
it
and
is.
something about Oz.
Yes,
Yep, that sounds really
big
fun.
time Oz.
Yeah, all sorts of lovely things happening.
You should
And
move into
something
West.
else we saw.
We should move to West Boylston and walk to the movies. Oh, really? What did we see?
Live behind Walmart.
Yes. We park the car there. You
Yeah,
know,
right. You just park the car, and
At Walmart. Yeah.
anytime you gave a party, you'd be all set.
Park at Walmart and come on over. Yeah. Bring your car keys.
Oh, my.
Yes, it's really
No,
great.
Stephen. No.
You
Stephen,
got to
no.
tie things in, you know.
You-
That's what a good show is. That's what humor is. 27 some odd minutes later, you throw it back to the opening
We've
joke.
got 5 minutes.
We've got 5
Yes,
minutes.
we have 5 minutes.
I hope we have more than 5 minutes.
For what?
Our life,
Oh, yes.
really.
I hope we have many 5 minutes.
I hope we
As
have
many 5 minutes as is there.
we have a
Salt on the
trillion
beach.
trillion 5 minutes.
Salt in the sea,
Yeah.
or
Good.
sand on the beach, or whatever you want
Yeah.
to call it.
But I want you to
You
know.
know something else you do for me? You come to church with me.
Yes, I do.
That is definitely an act of love. Because you aren't that big on
Certainly
going
is.
to church.
Well,
You go to
it's-
church to keep me company.
Yes, that's
And
true.
you also like to, we do shopping together
yeah.
now. And you seem to like that a lot more.
I love looking over the radishes. There's something about that.
I have a
that's just-
recipe for radishes, and it calls for the tops, and I haven't seen any radish tops lately. I'm
mean the
waiting
greenery?
patiently for radish tops to appear in the market.
The greenery?
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was poisonous.
No, radishes?
No, the tops.
No.
Oh,
No, no,
some
no,
top
no. You're
is.
thinking of You're thinking of other things. Now,
Other
let me think.
things, yeah.
Rhubarb, you don't eat the leaves of rhubarb.
Oh, you never eat
Ever.
the leaves of
no,
rhubarb.
No, that's bad. You can also, you can make a good garden insecticide with
Yeah.
it, though.
Well, the reason I love going shopping with you is I love seeing people run up to you by the lettuce display at Stop and Shop and say, I saw your program where you made marinated strudel meat or something like that. And it's just wonderful having you as a celebrity. You know,
but you're a celebrity too. People come up to you and tell you,
No, they
tell you
frown.
they like your history, your history program.
People come up to me and look at me oddly like, what does she see in him?
No, they're not at all. They like your history program, and they often say so in the supermarket.
I've gotten a lot of what does she see in him.
No, you have
Yes,
not.
really.
That's your imagination.
No, it's not my imagination.
Yes, it
I can
is.
read lips.
No, it's your
Yes,
imagination.
especially if
It's
if
entirely
you're
your
standing by arugula, I can really read lips. You know, and arugula is a very magical plant that way.
Oh, honey.
You know, and it's all right.
Oh,
I don't
honey.
mind. I'm happy to be
Arugula is
your.
actually, I think, the greenery that was.
I'm happy to be your husband. I wish you would learn to make sushi using fresh tuna. That would be really good. And eel. Eel is lovely. You see? I
No,
mean,
I don't do raw fish. I'm sorry.
a lot of women don't.
Are you
Those
sure?
who do understand.
Many do. Many
Yes.
do. Many love raw fish. No,
Those
no.
women who eat raw fish understand why raw fish is the way to go.
Well, that's good. I'm glad they do.
It does something to their whole genetic makeup.
No doubt they do.
Really?
No doubt they do.
It just lifts them into an altered
And that's
state.
probably why your old girlfriend there used to bring you sushi.
She wasn't really
She was
my.
hoping to get a rise out of you.
She wasn't. She got more than the rise. She got a mountain. 2 minutes. We have 2 minutes. It's.
No, she didn't. She didn't get anything out of you, and then she was disappointed, so
Well,
she
was
stopped
kind.
bringing sushi.
She was good. Someday I can tell
She
an
stopped
amazing.
bringing sushi.
I can tell an amazing story about that in terms of the metaphysics of life.
Well, that's okay.
But I want you to know.
We don't want to bore people with metaphysics.
I want you to know how much I love you, and I love watching the arugula and the basil plant.
Well, I want you to know how much I love you.
And I want to wish you a very happy Valentine's Day. May you be
Can we have a better kiss than
better
that?
kiss than
Better
that.
kiss. This kind. A real
I just don't want anything to fall out. That's all.
a real kiss.
A real kiss. I don't know. This is home viewing. You know. I don't know if we're okay with that. But there's something very special about sushi, ladies. If you want to really enliven your marriage, go sushi.
Well, folks, we've come to the end of our program, and we hope you've had a good time watching us.
Yes.
And even if you didn't, don't let us know. Just let us know if you had a good time.
And if you'd like to really watch us, we can arrange for that too.
Oh, yes, we'll come to dinner at your
Yes.
house.
Happy
Bye for now.
Valentine's Day. It's always fun. Yes, it is.
It's over.
It's you and me.
It's you and me.
Just you and me.
Just you and me.
That was fun.
That was fun.